All right, welcome in everybody, student staff, to another episode of the Rap Sheet where Mr. Costanzo interviews one of our amazing new teachers, give you a little bit of insight into who they are and what they're into. Today, I am with our fabulous German teacher, Mr. Sullivan. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Listen, I'm just happy that you didn't respond to me in German because I would have been completely frozen. You would have thrown me off, and I don't know what I would have done.
We'll do that later. We'll do that later.
I can't. I'm terrible. My mind is. Listen, I'm here to tell you that I tried and I couldn't put it together. I couldn't put it together. But
You got to start visiting my class then, and then we'll get you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to. There's no doubt about it. I'm gonna sneak in on my prep periods. Or hey, listen, there's no better time than during virtual learning. I could just sneak in and what do they say? Like audit your class in the middle of a
Exactly.
class.
Go for it.
So sir, what brought you to William Penn? Where did you what were kind of your teaching experiences before you came here?
Well, I had about a 16-year gap in teaching. I taught Swedish at the University of Pittsburgh for a little while, and I taught English as a foreign language in Germany. And the idea was always to go back to teaching, but I sort of fell into the translation industry, and then I worked in translation for a really long time. And then with COVID, it all just kind of slowed down. I work primarily as a medical translator, and I would say that the whole medical field switched to let's figure out COVID, let's do trials on COVID, and then all other medical trials kind of ceased to exist, and or because of quarantine protocols and the like, they were not having people come in and do these medical trials, so there just weren't any documents for me to translate anymore. So I thought, hey, let's see if I can go back to teaching and make it work again.
Wow, that is let me tell you what. So you've done it all when it comes to foreign language, and you're not just an expert in German either. It sounds like you've got a couple languages under your belt.
Yes, I speak German, Swedish, and Danish, and I have done translation work in many other languages such as Norwegian, the Dutch, Afrikaans, a little Icelandic, a little Faroese, even a little French. But yeah.
Wow. Wow. Let me tell you what, that's impressive. And listen, that's why we're doing these things, because I would have never have known that about you. That is fantastic. Well, listen, silver lining of the whole situation is that you're here with us now, and our students are very lucky to have somebody with your expertise kind of showing them the ropes of foreign language. And again, even myself, somebody who doesn't think it's possible for me, maybe it is.
Absolutely. You just have to come to my class.
I love it. I love it. So you've been with us here for a couple months. Besides our glorious green roof, what are some of your favorite things about the building, about the staff, about being a teacher at William Penn?
Oh, the staff is absolutely excellent. I mean, I mean, this was the job that I was hired to do, but then right before I started, the high school stole me, and I taught there from November until the winter break. And I mean, just I mean, it was sort of a blessing in disguise in the sense that I do get to meet the whole world language department and work with them very intimately. And probably more than the other middle school teachers, because I mean, I was subbing for one of the high school teachers. I was working intimately with two others, so it was great, and I kind of know what they want from the students at William Penn. As far as
That's a great point, right? Because you got to figure that the foreign language department at the middle school level, they move buildings, they
right.
change their location, so that's got to be hard to kind of build those connections, especially with the foreign language department at the high school. So it's a really interesting way to look at it.
But as far as the building and stuff goes, I have barely explored beyond my little corner. I mean, when they asked me to do lunch duty, I was like, "And where's the lunchroom? I don't even know." So, yeah, I still have a lot to learn about William Penn, and I probably won't until I move on to Charles James. So,
Exactly. And then, hey, you got a brand new square to learn, right?
exactly.
It's Penwood. That's the one. That's the one that gets me tripped up. Now I went to Penwood, so all the other two are just big squares, but Penwood is like it's a maze. That's a tough one over there. It's a tough one over there. So now that we got through kind of like your background, which is incredibly interesting, how about some hobbies that you're interested in, or things that you do kind of in your free time?
Well, my main one right now is astrophotography, which is I have too many telescopes, and I attach a camera to a telescope, and then I photograph nebulae and galaxies from my roof in my suburban Philadelphia home.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. And does the again, just a novice here asking somebody who, so this might be a silly question, but does the light from the city mess with any of that, or are you able to cut that out with the camera?
No, I mean, it's very difficult. I usually have to devote a lot more time to photographing an object than most other people would. And then there are a few things that are just what I would say they're below the noise level, meaning that they're just too drowned out if they're that faint. But I mean, whereas someone could, if they were under dark skies, they could, spend 3 hours imaging one target. I may have to do like 20 hours to do it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And now this is where, if I had more time, right? If this was like my podcast or something where, I had an hour and a half with you, we would dive into whether or not you've seen any UFOs up there or anything like that. Because listen, it's Friday. It's Ancient Aliens Day in my house. It's Ancient Aliens all day on the Costanzo TV on Fridays. It's reruns, it's appointment TV. But listen, I got to ask, have you seen anything up there? What are we looking at?
No, I have seen. I've seen. I think one of probably the most interesting things that I've seen in one of my sub exposures, one of my individual images was space junk that it clearly was some sort of rotating, who knows what, and it took about 15 minutes to get across the screen, but it was just space junk. That's all it was, like a rocket that had been flying around.
I don't think so. I
do.
I don't think it was space junk. I don't think it was space junk.
I think it was.
All right. So with that, this is where we kind of go into like our general knowledge question. And this is where I find the most ridiculous question on the internet. And I see if you know something that's been in front of your eyes thousands of times, but I want to see if you know. Ready? Here we go. General knowledge question number 2. We've got very important stuff here. What color is the X, EX, in the FedEx symbol?
It is either orange or white. I'm going to go with orange.
Orange, it's correct. Wow, what a grab. It is orange. How many times that FedEx truck is in front of us and you got it? What a pull by you. Orange, fantastic. All right, here we go. End up lightning round style. I'm going to ask you some important questions, and I'm going to ask you to give them to me quick. Hopefully I don't take us down some kind of tangent if you tell me something wrong, or at least something that I don't like. Ready? Here we go. Lightning round style. Favorite movie?
The Princess Bride.
Oh, great choice. Favorite book?
The Fish Can Sing.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite subject in high school?
German.
No, absolutely. And favorite kind of music?
Indie rock.
Okay. All right. All good. Hey, all good answers. Mr. Sullivan, you're the man. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And kids and faculty, stick around for another episode soon. All right.